fast food and restaurants, pretty high, $20, $15, $20.
If you're not a people person, go to work at Panda Express.
Or be a file reviewer.
Or be a file. You're there to take care of somebody, a different somebody every day.
Adjusters gonna adjust.
Do you want to know the single best thing that you can do for your career as an adjuster, whether you've been an IA for years or you just learned about it from this video? The signature networking event of the year is the National Association of Catastrophe Adjusters Convention, held at the first of the year, every year, for decades. Go to nacaadjuster.org right now and get registered for this can't miss annual event. There's training, continuing ed for your licensing, and the most important thing, dozens of recruiters, team managers, VPs of HR, all the people who will be hiring you. And you get to sit down in front of them in person and interview. This is a big deal. People leave this conference with claims in their hands. If you only do one thing for your career, this has to be it. Go to nacaadjuster.org and let them know Adjuster TV sent you.
I really believe that. I mean, and I think dispatch and everybody at these IA firms are looking at it. Okay, here's a new guy.
Oh, for
Give
sure.
him a tree on a fence. Let's see if we can make the contact and return a file.
Totally.
Because I could do that, from the office. But let's give him that one. And then something a little more complex and something a little more, and then something far out. And, I think the problem with new people coming in is they already have set what they want to do. And if they're really set in their ways and they know, then they should go to Panda Express.
Yeah.
Don't do this.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
Right?
so let's talk about that for a second. Like, why should somebody even consider doing this if there are jobs out there, a tile setter in the valley here makes $95 an hour, and there's the wages. I'm not an economist or like really following this very closely, just anecdotally by what I see and hear, but seems like, minimum wages are up.
Sure.
The floor for like retail and fast food and restaurants,
What's up?
it's pretty high. $15, $20 an hour, $22 an hour to scoop rice in a bowl or make cheeseburgers or whatever.
Right.
Which, that's not it. I've done that kind of work. Adjusting's harder than that.
The difference is it's soul sucking.
Yeah.
Where what we're doing is might be soul sucking too, but really, as an adjuster, you're there to take care of somebody, a different somebody every day.
Yeah.
And that was the thing I really loved there was a variety, and I was basically the holder of the paycheck.
Yeah.
So when I showed up and I could help somebody, and it was so reward for me because I'm a people person. And here's the other thing: if you're not a people person, go to work at Panda Express.
Yeah.
Right. And I think
Or be a file reviewer.
Or be a file. Yeah. Then you can yell at the adjuster all day. No, a QA. File reviewer may have to call the insured. That could be a problem.
Right.
The number one resource for damage identification books, trainings, and certifications is Hague Education. Not only that, but they provide building inspection and desk adjuster trainings and certifications for those as well. Get a discount on all books, tool certifications, and other trainings with code AdjusterTV at checkout at HagueEducation.com.
But it's for me, it was the best way to make a really good living and still be able to interact and help people. And I think so many new adjusters come into this business because my cousin Billy Bob went and made $100,000
In the summer.
in a summer.
Or a hurricane or whatever.
Yeah. And so I should be able to do that too because he's the dumbass.
Right.
Right. But this is what I've always said. If your cousin Billy Bob is a half-ass adjuster and he goes and trains you, what are you going to be?
Exactly.
You're never going to be better than him.
Yeah.
Right? And so if you're not going to somewhere, this is so cool, dude. Now I can say somewhere like Adjuster TV, because there is no more VOS trained adjuster program, then you have no no real hope because you're going to follow along what somebody else says. We were talking last night about doing ride-alongs, right? You're not doing a ride-along to learn how to be an adjuster. You're doing a ride-along to learn how another adjuster does his work.
Yeah. See if you even want to do it.
To see, number one, if you even want to do it, and number two, by taking what he's doing and then going and getting education from that on what the process is, how to create a process, how to actually do the job correctly. You know, it takes time.
It does.
It just does. And nowadays, way different than when you and I got started, because I never left Arizona without 100 claims.
Right.
Right? When you called me up to deploy me, you knew I had to have 100 claims. Well, now you're driving across country for 20 claims. Now, if you have a process, you're going to turn your 20 and you're going to take old Jeff's 15 away from him next week, and then you're going to take the other guy's 15 away from him the next week because all they did was make first contact. And you can actually stay out there and do it. But you can't show up on a storm and with the same volume we had and without actually turning file.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Which, you know, these guys I know that have come through you and have come through, not so much me because we were 6 weeks of just drilling into their heads. And they had so much to do before they even came here. But they get out there in the field and freeze or whatever. And so 5 days later, maybe they've inspected 6 or 7 claims, but nothing's been turned in. When you get out there and you got 20 claims, you want something turned, make your contacts, get everybody situated, everybody calm down, and then even if you can only do 1 a day or 2 a day, you go and you do that 1 and you turn it in, and you do those 2 and you turn it in. You don't do 4 claims a day today and 4 claims tomorrow because now you haven't turned in, and they know those metrics.
Oh yeah, they're tracking it.
They're completely tracking it.
Yeah. Xactimate. I mean, it pings exact analysis and it shows its status as your file for
Every
you.
time you open that claim up and when that claim closed and when you wrote contacted on it and there's a clock that's stopping, inspected, clock stops, new clock ticks, and so they're watching all of that stuff. So it's not that you have to be I can do 10 claims a day or I can do 5 claims a day. You just got to do something and they'll know it. I had one of our graduates graduated a year ago. Ran day claims in the Tucson area for most of last year and went to Burrow. That was his first storm. Well, like everybody, first week is chaos.
Yeah.
Right? And guidelines are changing and emails are coming and everybody's yelling and screaming at each other and all the rest of that stuff. But he went out on that first week and he just did 1 claim a day. Right, making all of his contacts and cleaning up the mess and making sure everybody was secure.
Yep.
But he just did 1 and he turned it in, did 1 and he turned it in, did 1. By the second week when he was organized, he could go do 3 or 4 claims. By the third week, he could do 5 claims. And then after, because Burrow wasn't a really long storm, right? After about the third week, he's thinking, nothing's getting kicked back. And so he reached out to management, right? And it was like, okay, how am I doing? And they were like, you're doing fine. In fact, will you stay for cleanup?
Oh yes.
Well, and that told him his photo report was right.
Yes.
And they weren't kicking them back because they could collaborate 1 line item and they could do something.
You want to know how to go from overwhelmed to a mid-6 figures career? Learn how in this next video right here.